Hey guys, Kiko here for another Q&A. Actually, I was about to go outside to film this Q&A, but it's so cold outside. It's -6 Celsius, so better here, right? So I have my phone here with some questions. Keep sending the questions. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications, right? And here we go. The first question is from Bodie MacBoatface. Hey Kiko, what's your favorite Angra song? So it's so hard to answer those kind of questions. Your favorite song, your favorite album, your favorite band, or the worst band, or your least favorite. I would say Angra. I would suggest to listen to Temple of Shadows album and to listen to Holy Land album. Both albums represent Angra. So Temple of Shadows from 2005 and Holy Land from 96. Temple of Shadows, I think we were recording it 2004, released in 2005, and Holy Land was recorded in 2005, in 95 and released in 96. So both albums kind of represents what Angra is, and Temple of Shadows more modern because from the 2000s, but Holy Land is like the first album that kind of we could find our way to put together the metal influences, the classical influences, and the Brazilian influences. Yeah, so I would suggest both albums and the songs from those albums, like Nothing to Say, Holy Land, so many songs, Carolina, Fourth, then Waiting Silence, Late Redemption, Morning Star, Angels and Demons, Spread Your Fire, so many songs. So yeah, it's very hard to pick one song. Another one here from Triplag 91. Hello Kiko, how it was to meet Allan Holdsworth? Where and when did you meet him? Can you tell a story about him? And obrigado, saludos desde Argentina. All right, so my fellow friend from Argentina. So I think it was in 2012, the first time I met him in Syracuse, Italy, for a masterclass, for like a guitar camp, not a masterclass, but a guitar camp for like 5 days. And I remember like hanging with him for many hours, in the afternoon and at night, having dinner with him at least 5 times. So it was really, really interesting, really cool, my hero. Can you imagine just to hang for 5 days with your biggest guitar hero and just chat and talk for hours every day? Yeah, a lot of great stuff, a lot of great stuff. I remember 2 things I remember. One thing was I was telling him that his music was kind of a European jazz, and then he didn't like it, right? So he thought, no, it's not about your country, it's not about your place. I said, it is about your influences, it is about your life. The music you play is about your life. And he didn't agree with that, whatever, right? So the next day, I was just doing my masterclass, my clinic there in the afternoon, and I was playing, I don't remember, I was playing some metal with Brazilian stuff, something like that. And then somebody screamed from the back of the room, and I looked, it was Allan Holdsworth. He was there like watching me. It was like pretty scary. And he said, yes, you're right. The music, it is from the place from the place you grew up, from the place you're born, from your culture. So that was a interesting situation, kind of, because he totally disagreed the previous night, and then the next day he was like, yeah, you're right. So that was kind of cool to be right in front of Allan Holdsworth. And the other thing was, he was talking about his father in a very sad way. He was really sad, almost crying, I would say, describing his father, and then mainly because his father was playing piano in a bar and playing music that he didn't like it for the money, and then he stopped playing, something like that. And then the message for me was like that he took the message I think he took was like, I will never play for music that I don't like for the money. And then I think that describes Allan Holdsworth's entire career, right? So he was never trying to please the audience with easier scales or easier chords or easier harmonies. Yeah. So great moments. And then after I had the chance to meet him at the NAMM shows in LA a few other times, in few concerts, and we talked. But those days in Syracuse in Italy were amazing. Another one here from Der Roboter Delfin. That's his name. Hey Kiko, a question. I have experienced in the past that when I practice a song and I'm not done with learning it correctly, I come back to practice. My playing seems to be worse than the last time. Is that a common thing? What do you recommend? So let me see. You practice, the next day it's worse. And then the problem, if it's the next day is worse and the other day is even worse, and then it gets even worse and then worse, and then one day you just like, you cannot play a C major. So unless it's this, it's okay, it's normal. Like one day you feel great, you had good rest, you're excited to play guitar, and clean mind, you play, and then things just flow. Then the other day you're tired, you're thinking about other things, have some problems, you just don't feel like playing, but you try to practice anyway, and then it's not great. So that's, it's normal to have these ups and downs, throughout your life in many things, and practice will be like this, great days, horrible days, concerts, the same. It's funny, you do like 30 concerts in a tour, and you have like the 5 great songs. You play the same songs like back to back every day, and then some concerts are better than other ones, and it's very hard to explain why. Of course, you try to practice, you try to avoid some situations that you will not perform well, so you try your best to keep like a high level of your performance, and let's say if you're practicing and you don't feel like practicing that specific thing, try to change, try to play something that easier songs or something that you get more excited, and then put you in the mood, and then you go back to the original practicing exercises, so the main thing is like you have to show up every day. So the main thing is like, I need to show up, I need to practice. I don't feel like it's not great, it's not as good as yesterday, but I'm here practicing, because when you look back a year from now, you'll see that it was like this, but it was always going up, your performance level. Okay, so just keep showing up every day and practicing every day. Another question here from Majority of One. Yes, that's his name, Majority of One. People always recognize songs I write, mostly because they always use the major pentatonic C scale, world's best scale, #fact. I do agree, the pentatonic is the world's best scale, #fact. And this is not because of the blues. This is because of nature. It's like gravity is here. That's nature. Every time you play a note, you have a series of harmonics, right? So it's like when you play a note, you have overtones, you have other notes inside that note, let's say, something like that, right? So the first harmonic is the octave of the original note. The second harmonic is the fifth of this original note. So if you stack the notes in fifths because this nature phenomena of the overtones, you discover 12 notes, right? Because if you start with C and G and D and A, if you do it stacking in fifths, you at some point come back to the original note, and then you discover that you have 12 notes. But if you do this only the 5 first notes, you discover the pentatonic. So the pentatonic is the closest 5 notes to the original note. right? So that's why it sounds so great and so beautiful, and that all cultures use the pentatonics, not only the blues, but everywhere you always will find the notes of the pentatonic, you know, the C, if it's like a major pentatonic in C, the order of the in fifths would be C, G, D, A, and E. So then you have a major triad, and you have the sixth, and you have the ninth. Here we go. So that's why pentatonic is so nice and pleasant to listen and to play. So another thing you can add to that is, like, if you play the first 5 notes of the circle fifth, right? You have the pentatonic, and the 2 remaining notes are the tritone. And the tritone is what creates movement, is what creates dissonance, and then needs to resolve somewhere. So then you have 7 notes, which is the modes, the scales, and so that's music. So that's music. And then the remaining 5 notes would be the chromatic notes, yeah, in between the notes of the scale, right? Also creating movements as well. Good stuff, good stuff. Let me know if you guys want to talk about theory at some point. Another one from Justin Lloyd. Hi Kiko, do you practice both sitting down and standing up? Do you play differently when standing up and performing? Well, I think you should practice standing up if you perform live, if you play on stage, or if you want to, even if you want to do YouTube videos, but standing up. I mean, back in the days that the only situation to play in front of people would be on stage, at some point you will be rehearsing, you would be sound checking, and you will be in you know, standing up and playing. And it was more common, I would say, to play standing up. Nowadays that we do a lot of stuff online, and then we're all sitting down, it might be it might occur that you never stand up, and then suddenly it happens to play live, and then you have to play standing up, right? So I would suggest that if sometimes you just walk around and keep playing, not only standing up, but walking while playing, you know, just moving your body. You don't need to run, you don't need to do fancy moves, but you know, just no fancy moves, but like just standing up and then, you know, just moving your body a bit and walking around the house while playing. This will give you this feeling like you need that to play on stage, even if you just stay there, don't walk much on stage, but it is helpful, you know, to walk and play, walk while playing. I do, during the rehearsals, I posted some rehearsals here, and then if you look, I'm like walking in circles, I'm just walking like crazy, because I just want to play everything while walking. Sometimes I even do some like play like in you know, just standing using one leg only, you know, just to keep the balance with the guitar as well. Yeah, so it feels more, is a way to train the legs as well, you know, but that's more specific for me. But yeah, I mean, I would suggest to stand up, and then in the beginning you can measure the height of the guitar, you know. So measure, you know, you're sitting down, you have your guitar like this, so when you stand up, you just like, and you try to keep the same height as sitting down, so you don't feel a big difference, you know. And then if you think it doesn't look as cool as you wish, you just slowly start to bring the guitar down, you know, inch by inch, and then till the point that you think it looks good on stage and is comfortable to play as well. That's all for now, guys. Thanks a lot. Subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, leave your questions, and see you in the next video.